So tonight's homework is on solving single-digit multiplication problems. So this new chapter is all about solving multiplication and using strategies to do so. So today I'm going to show you how to use each of our strategies that the students have been taught in order to find the product, which is the answer, to this multiplication equation. And I'm going to show each strategy, all used to solve this equation. So the first one, since this is a 5 that students are probably likely to choose as their chosen strategy, is skip counting. Now, if they're choosing to skip count by 5s, then they need to count 4 times. So I tell them to draw 4 lines to remind themselves when to stop. That's the most common mistake within skip counting, is that students forget when to stop counting. So we're going to count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, and 20, which this would be our product or our answer. I do also have a student, and some of them will count by 5s, and each time they count, they'll mark it as 1. So they'll say 5, 1, 10, 2, 15, 3, 20, 4. That way they also keep track in this way of how many times they have counted. Now, the next one is to do equal groups. Now, I'm going to do 4 groups, and I'm going to put 5 in every group. This works the other way as well. They could make 5 groups and put 4 in them, as long as they're doing one or the other. They can't make 5 groups of 5, because then that would be 5 times 5. So I have my 4 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that factor. And then 5 dots in each group. That's my second factor. So then I would count them up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and I get 20 again. Similar to our equal groups would be the tape diagram. And we say that because it looks like a piece of tape. And I'm going to make 4 boxes, and I'm going to put a 5 in each box. The boxes do not have to be equal for this. So there's a 5 in each box. So I have 4 5s in this case. And then my total goes down here, which would be 20. So that is our third strategy. Our next strategy would be to use an array. Now, an array is doing rows and columns. Although I don't tell the students columns as much because then they get confused. We focus mainly on the rows and then the number in each row. So I'm going to make 4 rows of 5. And that of means that there's going to be 5 in every row. So first I'm going to make my 4 rows so that I know I've made enough. Now I'm going to make sure that there's 5 in them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now along this side, I have 4 rows of 5, which has a total of 20 if we counted them all up. The final strategy that students are taught, or at least that I taught to my students, is the repeated addition. And this one especially can go 2 ways, depending on what the student is more comfortable with. And I will show both ways for that one. So for this one, I'm going to add 4 5 times, which means I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4s. And we would just put the addition symbols in here. And depending on how your child chooses to solve it, it could be by doing this, which I have taught a couple of the students. And then 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 4 equals that 20. Now, again, in the same way, since we've been doing 5s for most of this, they could also add 5 4 times. So that would be 1 5, 2 5s, 3 5s, 4 5s. Then add my addition symbols. And then same thing. I add it. 5 and 5 is 10. 5 and 5 is 10. And 10 and 10 is 20. Some students may have learned with a number line. I do not stress this strategy because it works very few times. Generally, students require an already filled out number line. However, they have been taught at times to skip count on an open number line. So to know that they're going to jump, they're going to make 4 jumps that are 5 large. 4 jumps of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you would add 5 each time. Plus 5 is 10, plus 5 is 15, and plus 5 is 20. So in this case, it's just another way to skip count. But it does make them remember the plus 5. However, I did also teach the students that each time we add 5 when we skip count, as well as when we skip count by other numbers. All right, so those are our main multiplication strategies. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.